Alright, everybody keeps asking me, a Gold Badge Sableye player, for a Sableye guide video. So here's my ultimate guide to my favorite Pokemon in Pokemon Unite, Sableye. In this video regarding Sableye, I'll be talking about held items, boost emblems, all his moves, how they work, when to jungle invade or lane. I'll try to give you every tip and trick I know about playing Sableye. Hopefully you guys enjoy this guide and it helps you out. Alright, so the first thing you'll notice with Sableye is the big circle around you. That is your passive, your stealth. When you are stealth like this, if an opposing Pokemon walks within that circle, you have a certain amount of time until your stealth gets broken and you are revealed. You'll also notice that you start with a boosted attack right away while in stealth. When you go into stealth, you get your boosted attack, and what that does is, when I auto this, it fears it away from me. So it starts walking away, and then you see it stops and starts walking again, as it normally does. The first move we'll actually go over is Astonish. It's the move you'll probably want to always take first. The thing about Astonish is it's pretty good for securing last hits, and you'll want to also use it when invading, so... As you can see, we'll boost it auto, and then we'll Astonish, and it makes it move slower as it runs away if you hit it from the back. So that's pretty much how Astonish works, and if we go to the target dummy over here, you guys can see about how much damage it does with a boosted auto into Astonish into boosted auto. A decent chunk of damage. The second move we'll go over is Thief. As you can see right there, that guy had 11 Aeos energy, and since we used Thief on him, he's now at 6. So Thief is a little dash attack that steals Aeos energy from the opponent. There's one little interaction about Thief that a lot of people don't actually know. So now that this guy has 0, we can go ahead and try to use Thief on it, and I'll show you that interaction here in a second. It gives him a 0.5 seconds. It's a very small stun that he gets hit with when you hit him with Thief, when he has 0 Aeos energy. The second move we'll use is Knockoff. That's the third move technically, but it's the first move that you'll be able to choose between Knockoff or Shadow Sneak. And with Knockoff here, a lot of times you'll go in from Stealth Auto. You can do that also. You can kind of reposition where you want the opponent with Knockoff. And it knocks off Aeos energy if he has any Aeos energy, so that's why it's called Knockoff. So it's a nice little dash attack, but it'll dash you back also if you don't do anything like that. Alright, so the other move we'll go over is Shadow Sneak. So with Shadow Sneak, you auto, and then you use Shadow Sneak right there, and then you see the orange bar underneath your health bar. When you use Shadow Sneak, it just basically puts you back into stealth. It's a... Oh, I need to go back into stealth. Even if I'm near an opposing Pokemon, they can still see me. But if they hit you with a hindrance move, you will not be able to go back into stealth. So a lot of times what you'll see people do when they play Sableye is they'll go in with like an auto, run away, Shadow Sneak, auto again, and then go back in for a third auto like that. Maybe they'll weave in like an Astonish in between or a Confuse Ray in between. But that's a lot of the times what people do with Shadow Sneak, as you get the boosted auto from stealth every time as well. Alright, so here's Feint Attack. We'll go over this ability now. It puts fake Aeos energy on the ground, deals damage over time, and it also slows them if they run over it. Alongside all of that, it also provides vision for you and your team. Not just you, but your team as well. So that's why I think Feint Attack is extremely underrated. As you can see, I saw that guy in the bush for a second before he dashed out due to the Feint Attack that I put in the bush. A lot of the times you'll see me early on, I'll put it right here. I'll maybe put it right there. That way it kind of gets a little vision right here near the entrance. Sometimes I'll even just put it at the entrance itself. And of course I'll also put it at the red buff as well. Sometimes instead of there I'll put it on the jump pad right here instead. That way they can't use the jump pad if they're running to it. And as you can see, we still have vision of the red buff, whereas we don't have vision of like the Bunnelbees. But we have vision of the 2 buffs because of our Feint Attacks there. Then near the Ray fight, of course, I will put my Feint Attacks somewhere like this. Right here. Maybe down there. If not down there, I'll put it like on that jump pad so they can't jump over into that L bush. Then I'll put it up here, maybe like right here. If not there, more up here or up in there into that L bush. And if not there, like top side, those three are okay spots as well. But generally you want like this bush secured. Sometimes this one as well. Like, you know for a fact the majority of players almost always rotate in through here, which is why a lot of times I'll have like a nice little lineup of feint attacks like that. That way they'll jump to here, hit this one as they run in, then hit this one, and then if they engage, they'll hit this one as well. So that's how feint attack is used pretty effectively. Alright, so we also have Confuse Ray here is our next ability. Confuse Ray is a pretty cool ability. It will also lock them up, so a lot of times you'll see people go from a boosted into stealth boosted auto Confuse Ray, and then they'll run away a lot of times. Because most of the time when they use Confuse Ray, it will cause the enemy that you hit to auto attack wild Pokemon or their own allies. It'll prioritize their own allies first, then wild Pokemon, then it'll, if there's none of those around, it'll go for yourself or teammates. See, like right now he'll hit me because there's nothing else around. But if he goes up to some wild Pokemon and we hit him with that, he'll hit the wild Pokemon. See? If he had allies next to him, he'd hit those instead of the wild Pokemon. Alright, so at level 8, we get our Unite move. We don't have to be level 9 like most Pokemon. And this one puts, if we hit them with it while they're facing us, it puts them in a backing animation. So they don't do anything, but they're forced to back. If you hit them during that backing animation, or an ally hits them during that backing animation, they will not back. They will get full control of their character back again. So that is Sableye's moveset. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into held items and battle items for Sableye. Alright, so for held items, I almost always run Floatstone and EXP Share. These are some viable options that you can use on him. So first set would be Floatstone, EXP Share, and Leftovers. This set's pretty decent at scouting around and invading and providing vision for your team and messing with the enemy jungler very early on. So here we have Floatstone. It increases movement speed by 20% when the Pokemon is not in combat. However, it also gives you 150 movement speed. That is while in combat, by the way. And 24 attack. The EXP Share here, one of the best items for all, like every supporter and possibly most defenders in the game. While the Pokemon has the fewest experience points on its team, it gains 5 more experience points per second. In addition, when a nearby teammate defeats a wild Pokemon, that teammate gains slightly more experience points. Basically what this means is, this item has been explained a bunch on other videos and stuff. Hopefully you guys understand how it works. If not, I'll try my best to explain it. If you get the last hit and you have an ally Pokemon near you, you get, I believe it's 30% experience, and your ally Pokemon gets 100% experience. So if you last hit it, that person gets the experience as if they last hit it. The experience share also gives you 150 movement speed and a nice little boost to your HP, 240. Another thing about the experience share is if the ally that you're next to gets the last hit, they still get 100% experience, and then you still get 30% experience. It works a little bit differently if there's multiple allies near you, but I don't quite remember exactly how that one works. I think it works if you get the last hit, then you get 30%, and the 2 allies get 50%, and if the ally gets the last hit and there's 2 allies near you, they get 70 or 100%, and then the 2 other people get 30%. I'm not quite sure. I don't quite remember exactly on that one, but I think it's something along those lines. Then, of course, we have Leftovers. This item is notoriously known for being terrible. However, I actually think it's quite good on Sableye. Maybe it's bad on other Pokemon. Obviously, like on Cinderace, you'd probably want to run a damage item over leftovers. But what this one does is when the Pokemon is not in combat, it recovers 4% of its max HP every second. Sableye is not going to be in combat a lot of the times when in stealth. So when you go stealth, you have to wait like maybe a second or two, and then you start regenning all your health. Sableye is pretty squishy, so when he gets hit, when you're messing with the jungle invade, on the jungle invades, you can utilize this, run away from him, let your stealth tick in, watch, see what's going on with them, and your leftovers will be ticking up your health back up, so they might be at half HP and you'll be back at 100 HP. This is how I'm able to get solo knockouts when doing jungle invades a lot of the times, is I abuse leftovers. Alright, so here's another moveset that I usually run if I am running Goal Getter. This one I don't like it because I drop EXP share for Score Shield. And if you don't know what Score Shield does, while the Pokemon is attempting to score a goal, it is granted a shield equal to 10% of its max HP. The higher the Pokemon's level, the stronger the shield will be. The Pokemon's goals cannot be interrupted while it is shielded. So it's pretty good for scoring and being a little score goblin with Goal Getter. I run it with leftovers and floatstone because I still like to invade with this build to provide vision for my team. Here's another option that I will run with his held items on Sableye sometimes if I'm playing the knockoff feint attack build. I personally think leftovers does just fine with it, as if you know what you're doing, I feel like you'll generate about the same amount of damage because you won't have to back as much. But this is an option as well. Attack weight. When the Pokemon scores a goal, its attack increases by 12. You also get just a plus 18 attack at the start. It stacks up to 6 times, so 12 times 6. It's pretty fun early on if you can get, 6 stacks. And Sableye getting stacks early is actually fairly easy once you hit level 4 and take knockoff. Even before that with Thief, it's still fairly easy, because you can steal the Aeos energy, well, if you're playing in lane, from the opponent, and then just go stack with the Aeos energy that you stole. Very optimal build for Sableye right now if the opponent is running a healing support. When attack-based damage is dealt to opposing Pokemon, their HP recovery effect is weakened by 30% for a short time. The HP recovery effect is weakened for longer when dealing damage to opposing Pokemon with attack-based basic attacks. Sableye's feint attack does ticking damage, so if I'm not mistaken, it will reapply the Curse Bangle effect, unless they've changed it or that was a bug that was happening before. But as far as I'm aware, that's working as intended. Alright, and we can't forget Amulet Coin. This is a nice little item that you could potentially run on Sableye if you wanted. For defeating wild Pokemon, Aeos energy acquired will increase by 100%, and goal scoring will be increased by 100%. So it increases your goal speed by 100%, which Sableye is pretty good at scoring, so it helps out quite a bit. Gives you movement speed and HP. Mine's not max level, as you can see, so I think it's 150 movement speed and 240 HP at max level. Charging Charm is another option you could run on Sableye if you wanted. It's totally fine, as it provides you with movement speed and flat attack, and on top of that, energy is charged through movement and basic attacks. Dealing damage to opposing Pokemon while energy is full will deal additional damage. So you'll be moving her a lot with Sableye, and as you can see, movement speed is like king on Sableye because you want to provide vision for your team, and you want to go in and out a lot with your attacks. As soon as you go in, you run out immediately, and then you go back in. You just keep doing that over and over to annoy the enemy. And last but not least, I actually think Axel Bracer is an okay option as well, as you should be getting quite a bit of assist with Sableye once you figure out how he works how to play him properly, as it increases your attack by 1.2% when you knock out a Pokemon from the opposing team, increases by half when you assist in knocking out a Pokemon from the opposing team, and you'll be getting quite a bit of assists. It also gives you a 4.5% cooldown and a plus 15 attack. So if you're running like Shadow Sneak, Knockoff, Feint Attack, Confuse Array, the cooldown is going to be helpful for keeping them locked down. Alright, so a lot of the times when I play Sableye, this is the boost emblem set that I run. It honestly has nothing to do with the colors. That's just a bonus that I was able to get. I would love to get like higher white and brown, but the main thing right now is the plus 350 movement speed. It's the one that I commonly use just because I think movement speed is one of the most underrated stats Sableye is already pretty squishy, so that's why we have negative 200 HP. We don't care too much about that. It's not great. We'd like to have more HP. We'd like to not have any negative HP, but unfortunately it is the nature of the boost emblems where you get plus something and negative something else. We also wouldn't like to lose the attack, you know, defense, special defense. The only thing we're okay with losing here is the special attack. That's whatever to us. So if you're able to come up with a movement boost emblem set that gives you plus 350 movement speed alongside not losing like any HP, attack, defense, or special defense, then that is amazing. A lot of the times when I am laning, I will be using this boost emblem set. Unless, of course, I have to decide on the fly if I'm going to go in lane or jungle invade. Sometimes I'll use this one for jungle invading also. This one gives you a plus 350 HP, plus 5 attack, plus 35 movement speed, and then minus 10 defense, minus 16.5 special attack, and minus 5 special defense, and then minus 1.2% crit. But we don't really crit with Sableye, so we don't care about that. We also are able to get 6 white, 6 brown, and 2 blue with this one, so it's very helpful. Gives us HP, attack, and a little bit of defense. Here's one I've been thinking about experimenting with. I haven't quite figured out yet if I want to, but I think it would be kind of fun to play a Shadow Sneak Confuse Ray game with this one. Alright, so a lot of the times people ask me, when should I invade or when should I play in the lane? So if your lane partner is like a 3 evolution Pokemon, Venusaur, Charizard, Garchomp, Machamp, those are some options where like I will say it's probably best to lane, Dragonite also. But you also have to take into consideration of the enemy central / jungler player, you know? So if the enemy central player is an attacker, I think Cinderace is good to invade, Decidueye is good to invade. It's okay to invade level 4 evolution, so if they evolve and you miss the invade and they just are able to stick onto you, you may get knocked out, unfortunately. As long as you waste a lot of their time, it's still worth it. Alright, I'm going to go down the list here. I'll tell you which Pokemon to invade if they're jungling. I'm going to go over every single one. It doesn't matter if they're going to jungle or not. Most of the time, Sableye, jungle, invade it. Why not? Venusaur, invade. 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 This one has pretty good secure. You don't have to invade this one. It also has web. I probably wouldn't invade Central Pikachu. He has secure early on and can debunk, like, and can stop your escape pretty easily. I'd probably invade this. I'd probably invade this. Would I invade an Alolan Ninetales? Maybe. This one also has decent way to stop you from getting out, as it can freeze you, so maybe I wouldn't. Would I invade a Wigglytuff? I might not, because Cute Charm is really annoying. Would I invade a Psyduck? Yeah, probably. Yep, I'd invade him a Machamp. Galarian Rapidash? Maybe I would, maybe I wouldn't. It's able to stick on you pretty well, and it has pretty decent secure, so... But it doesn't... I haven't really had the opportunity to invade Galarian Rapidash lately. I think I would probably not invade it. I don't actually think I would invade a Slowbro. He's just got really good secure. I think he just out-secured me the whole time. I would 100% invade a Dodrio. Dodrio players deserve to get invaded. Even though I want to learn Dodrio. If I'm playing it, don't invade me, please. Let me learn in peace. I would invade Gengar. I don't know why a Blissey would jungle. Has decent secure. I'd probably invade it, but I don't know if I have success just because it has such decent secure. Mr. Mime has pretty good secure too. I don't know why it would jungle, but I'd probably invade it, but I would be to stall it out and mess with it, not really secure the farm from it. If I can do that, that's just a bonus. Scyther Scissor, yeah, I would invade this. I almost always do. Gyarados, yep, I'd invade it. Lapras, hardly ever see this thing, I'd probably invade it. It could be kind of tricky, but I think it's doable. Snorlax has really good secure. This one would be a difficult one, but I would still probably invade it just to mess with it. Maybe I wouldn't. This one I might not, just because it has such good secure, and if it gets flail, it can stick on me pretty easily. So if I mess up the invade and then it levels up, it gets flail, yeah, I'd probably maybe skip invading Snorlax. I would invade Dragonite. I would probably invade a Mewtwo, X and Y. Mew, I would probably invade, but it does have good secure, so you have to be careful about that. It has pretty decent secure with Electro Ball. Azumarill, I would probably invade. Espeon, I'd probably invade it and hope that I just out-secure it and delay its level 4 as much as possible. If I don't, then I'd probably want to run away. Maybe mess with it, but if it takes the move stuff that can like stun me. Espeon's kind of annoying to deal with as Sableye because of its passive. I don't think an Umbreon should be playing Central. But if they were for some reason, I would probably invade it. I don't think Umbreon has that great of secure before it gets like foul play, so yeah, I'd probably invade this. Mamoswine. This one's tricky because if it gets on you, it can pretty much stick on you the whole time and you can't get out, so maybe I wouldn't invade. It has okay secure, but if he's jungling, it's kind of weird, so I think I would probably invade it. Just, I would go based on the fact that I don't think jungle Mamoswine would be that great compared to lane Mamoswine. So I'd probably invade it, but if they know what they're doing, it'd be pretty difficult. Suicune, I don't think I've ever seen this thing in the central area, so I don't know. This thing I just avoid. This thing's annoying. It just locks you up and you can't move. Maybe I'd invade it just to mess with it, but at the same time, I don't know. I wouldn't want to even be near it. Tyranitar, yeah, 100% invade it. Oh, yeah, I'd invade it. I don't know why it would be... I don't think it has that great of secure. It's okay, but I would invade it if it was in the center. It's got decent secure once it starts like ramping up, if it gets a little bit of a lead on you, but that's like with any Pokemon, so... Blaziken, yeah, I would invade this thing. Every time. Gardevoir, yeah, pretty much invade this thing every time. Absol. This one's scary to invade. If it goes well, it generally goes really well. If it goes bad, it generally goes pretty bad. So, hit or miss on this one. Metagross. I'd probably invade it. Garchomp. I would invade it, but I'd have to be very careful. I would have to either make sure that I get the secure, which should be fairly easy to do against a Garchomp, or I would have to mess with it if this guy's like a beast and able to out-secure me for some reason. Lucario, I don't think I would invade this. If it was jungling, I don't think I would, because he's just got such good secure. And I don't think you would do much damage to him either. Leafeon, I would love to be able to say invade this thing, stop it from getting level 4, but if you mess up and it hits level 4, this thing's going to probably just knock you out. So generally probably would avoid it. Maybe I'd go and mess with it for like a couple seconds and then just leave, go to lane. Glaceon. You could probably invade this. This thing doesn't actually do as much damage as it used to do. Before, it would just like knock you out in a Icicle Spears rotation. So if it hit level 4, it would just get full Icicle Spears and then just knock you out. But I think you can survive it now if that happens. If it gets it twice on you, you're dead though. So I'd probably still invade it. Darkrai, I would invade just because Darkrai is really annoying to deal with. And I would want to keep him busy and away from my lanes. Crustle, I guess I'd invade this thing if it was in the center. Again, it'd be about probably, this thing's pretty tanky, right? So probably just keep it busy and away from the lanes. I guess it could be a pretty scary gank, right? If it comes in with X-Scissor. Or whatever that move is called. Zoroark, I always invade this. Every single time I invade this one. I don't think there's been a time where I don't invade it. Even if it goes bad, I still invade this thing. Chandelure, yeah, I'd probably invade it. It's a 3 evolution Pokemon. You can stall it out. It's pretty detrimental if you stop it. It's got a burn though, so it's kind of annoying. Delphox, again, 3 evolution Pokemon, I'd invade it. Greninja, same thing as Delphox, Chandelure, I would invade this thing like every time. It also doesn't have great secure, so yeah. Talonflame. This one is actually, I'd probably avoid Talonflame, right? Like, I'd like to invade it, because when it goes well, it goes really well, usually. But at the same time, if they know what they're doing, they're probably just going to knock me out. It's a pretty scary, I'd probably avoid it. Aegislash. I would probably invade this guy. He can be pretty annoying to deal with too. But I'd probably still invade it. Sylveon. I would invade, but as soon as it hits Sylveon, it gets like Hyper Voice. I'd probably leave. I don't think I'd want to mess with it after that. Maybe a little bit mess with it to see if I can out-secure it and steal some of its farm from it. But I'd probably invade it. Goodra, I guess I would invade. I don't think this thing's gonna knock me out. Trevenant, I would invade it. Hoopa, if it was jungling for whatever reason, I guess I'd invade Hoopa. It could knock me out if the invade goes bad. I don't think Hoopa would be jungling though, so it's not really something you gotta worry about. Decidueye, yep, invade it. Serena, probably not gonna jungle, but sure, invade it, why not? Comfey, there's no way that, like, I've actually seen this thing jungle once. It was weird. But I would invade it. Mimikyu, I would invade Mimikyu, because Mimikyu is very obnoxious to deal with. It can snowball and just go out of control. You have to be very careful, I think, when invading Mimikyu, as you don't want to give this thing a lead at all. But I would invade it. Buzzwole. Would I invade a Buzzwole? I don't know if I would. I might. But as soon as it hits level 4, I think I'd be out of there, because that's where he just, like, knocks me out, I think. But I think you could get away with invading Buzzwole. But again, he's pretty scary. He's got CC and high damage, which makes him pretty scary. Zeraora. I would probably invade this thing. Cinderace, I would invade. Inteleon, I would invade. Greedent Central player, like, if that was happening, I'd probably just invade it just to see if I could out-secure a Greedent player. You'd probably be able to if you were invading Greedent that was in the Central for whatever reason. Eldegoss, yeah, I'd probably invade it. I don't see why not. I don't think it should be in the center anyway, but if it was for whatever reason, I'd invade it. Cramorant, I would invade it, I think. Alcremie, I would invade it. Why not? Phalanx. Phalanx actually kind of beats Sableye up. I'd probably avoid him, to be honest. Duraludon, I'd probably invade it. Why not? Dragapult, I would invade it. Zacian, I would invade it. You don't want that thing to start ramping up. Urshifu, yeah, I'd invade it. Meowscarada, I'd probably invade Meowscarada. It could knock me out if I do it. Speedsters seem to be the ones that are a bit scary. Armarouge, I would invade 100%. Cerulege, 100% invade as well. Pinkaton, yeah, I'd invade. Miraidon, yeah, I'd probably invade a Miraidon. Why not? Maybe I wouldn't. Miraidon's a hit or miss for me.